Graybeard Gaming. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Graybeard Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Scott, and no matter where you go, there you are. And as always, I have with me David and Liam. And after we catch up on what we've been playing this week, we are going to, of course, talk about Jeff Keighley's Overbloated Game Awards. So let's start with Liam this week. What have you been playing, Liam? And it better be Space Marines.
I haven't actually, because I got a bit of a cold this week as well. So I've been just playing some, I don't know, multiplayer and Black Ops and other games because I've been looking what games have Christmas events and things.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Yeah, see what happens. So Black Ops now has Nuketown Christmas, theme map. Tomorrow they're gonna have a zombie map, but all Christmas themed. So all the zombies have red hats on. As always funny, but yeah, that's what I'm doing really at the moment, seeing what games have different events, because I'm not feeling anything particularly. I should be playing Indiana Jones the Stalker, but I don't know, just haven't. So
I saw images of the Black Ops map that you're talking about, and I immediately thought it was DayZ that I was looking at. It looked like Frostline DayZ. I was like,
yeah.
Is this a town in DayZ? Because this looks great. But and then I read the caption. I was like, oh shit, it's Black Ops.
So that'll be tomorrow, and some other things happening in Christmas weeks coming up.
Yeah.
So apart from that, I haven't actually done really much. But coming down with a cold, which really annoys me.
That's why you sound so sultry.
So broadcasting.
Yeah, this is my new voice gonna be.
Hello there. Hello, pulpit. Cool. All right. Well, I hope you feel better. That's never fun. David, what have you been up to?
I think I remember last time I told you guys I've been playing Subnautica Below Zero, and it's making me want to play Subnautica, and it did. It made me want to play Subnautica, but I realized stupidly that Subnautica is not on Game Pass anymore, and I guess I was playing it on Game Pass the whole time and not realizing that I didn't own it. So when I went to go play it on my Xbox, I'm like, "Why? Where is this? Why isn't it here?" And then I look at the comments. When you go to the game store, you look at the comments, and everybody's like, "Please bring it back to Game Pass." So I was like, you know what? And it's $29. I was like, you know what? Why am I gonna buy this for Xbox? So I went and got on the PC, dusted it off, and I bought it on PC. And I actually bought it. They had a deal. It was like you buy them both. You can buy Below Zero and Subnautica. And then when I went to start it up, it said, "Do you want to start it up in VR or do you want to start it up in regular version?" I was like, "No way, VR!"
Oh no!
I didn't do it in VR because I just wanted to try it out with the mouse and keyboard. So I've been playing that a lot, and I did play the new Helldivers map, which is hella fun. It's really cool. They have a warthog now with a gun on the back, and I was playing that. So when we first jumped in, I'm trying to do all this research to try to find out how to get the warthog, and I've come to find out it's in your stratagem,
right?
But you can't get it yet. The only way you can get it is you have to find it on the map in the field.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, shit, all right, no problem. So I'm playing.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing with Gina. I'm playing with Gina's brother, and we're playing, and then I turn my head and I'm like, holy shit, there it is, the fucking warthog. I jump in it, I drive over, get the fuck in there. I'm like, now I'm into it, and it was awesome. It was so much fun, just it just felt like it felt like Halo. It looks like a Halo warthog. It really does. And it's really cool. So I'm probably gonna jump back onto that and a little bit of Subnautica. So I'm hyped.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Subnautica and Sub-Zero it's not DLC, right? It's its own game.
Yeah, it's weird.
I thought it was DLC.
Yeah, Below Zero is its own side game, and it's very weird. It's not the same level of content as the regular Subnautica.
Okay.
It's like it's like half a game really, and it just follows a different story of a. I think there's sprinkles of the other story in there, but it follows the story of like somebody looking for their sister. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking the trailers of Subnautica 2 have two women. So I'm guessing part 2 is gonna take off where Subnautica Below Zero left off,
Hmm.
and you're gonna be able to play two characters, or it's probably gonna be multiplayer. You can play two characters. That's my guess anyway. But yeah, no, this part 1 has a massive submarine called the Cyclops that you can use. They don't have it in Below Zero. So you start playing Below Zero and you're like, I want that submarine. How come it's not in this game? And then you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go back to playing Subnautica 1. So, but I love Subnautica. Such a great game. I really want to try it for VR. So, in due time, I will.
I wonder
Yeah.
if you like playing VR. You'd be like, help, I'm drowning. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's
Do you have to
probably gonna be a
constantly
little
do
weird.
this?
I don't know. That's what I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna be, but uh, I assume the bases will look cool when I go inside the base, or I bet it's gonna be. There's times when you're playing Subnautica, it's really fucking scary. You see some kind of creature.
Mm.
Hmm.
There's plenty of times when I'm like going deep down, and it's all pitch black. The only light's coming from your submarine, and then all of a sudden you just see like the face of like a giant fucking creature, and you're like, nope, fuck that, I'm out of here. And you just turn that
Yeah.
shit around, and you go right back up to the surface where it's safe. So if I'm playing in VR, I'm probably gonna shit my pants.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did forget to mention one thing though.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like soon I'll be playing more on my PC.
Hmm.
I did get a few games on my
Oh
PC.
yeah.
What'd you
Oh,
get?
do tell.
I did buy Path of Exile 2.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Well,
But
I
I'm
yeah.
got
gonna
some
go.
news for
I'm
you.
gonna,
But
I'm gonna
since
get
you're
a.
right here, I'm assuming you haven't played it yet.
I tried a little bit of it.
Okay.
I need to sort out my PC settings really
Hmm.
because I'm still new to everything PC. Relatively now.
Yeah.
Because obviously on Xbox it's just like you want this setting or this setting. It's like slower or more FPS, and that'll be it. That's literally all you gotta do
Yeah.
on consoles. On PC you got everything. Do you want to run it at 240p but 500 FPS? You can. Um,
Well,
Do you have?
I'm trying to figure out like what my play style maybe
optimal
like
settings would be.
optimal settings like between graphical performance and um, just like FPS because I
Yeah.
can just go into a game, it's 100 FPS. But like
You're
I don't know,
done.
yeah, but like I wonder what can I turn ray tracing on? Can I pick that option? What does this do and what does that
Yeah,
do?
you can play with it now. Most games now, of course, have just much like a console. It has like low, medium,
Yeah.
high, ultra, that kind of thing. But yeah, if you want to play with it and you get into the point, it's like, oh, this looks great. It's 2 frames per second. You can always just go back to like
Yeah,
medium or high or whatever, and it will take it back to that. That's one of the things I like about PC is that you can kind of cater it more toward like this game. I really want to look the best. I can sacrifice some frame rates, and then some games you're like, screw it, give me 400 frames per second if I can,
yeah.
and it
So,
gives you that
yeah,
option. So
I'm just going to do that for my PC, and I've got a few things coming from my PC this week as well. Because I want to use controller on my PC, but my PC doesn't like my controller for some
Really?
reason. So I'm going to get like
have
a
you tried plugging it in just like a regular USB-C cable?
yeah. That's what I mean. Like it doesn't like the USB cables I put in it, and I keep trying different USB ones. It doesn't like it. Fine, be that way then. So what I'm going to do is I've got like some wireless adapters that I'm going to
okay.
get and just do it that way.
All right.
So because I'm not used to keyboard and mouse yet. And,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with using a controller. I still use controller for some games on PC.
Yeah,
So-
I was playing with the keyboard and mouse for a while because I just was like, I want to give this like a shot at using the
Yeah,
mouse
yeah.
and keyboard. I didn't want to just be like, this sucks and stop using it.
Mm.
But then I was playing Space Marines with Scott, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna use a controller. And when I
Yeah,
plugged
I
it
did
in,
too.
it worked fine. I had an
Yeah.
Elite controller, and the back paddles worked. Everything worked. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Why have I been trying this? This is like so much easier, and it just made the game more enjoyable. So yeah, no. Don't be afraid to use a controller. Like,
Yeah,
sure.
so
absolutely.
I do want to get into my PC eventually more because I should do because I put a lot of money into it.
Yeah, well, and you can get more out of it too. The more you put into
Yeah.
it, I mean, the more time you put into it, the more you can
Yeah.
get out of it. Especially now when we're on that Unreal Engine 5.5, cusp of games coming out. You're gonna probably want to be on your PC as opposed to your console. So.
Yeah. If my console was limited, I'd be like, wait, now I've got a PC. Let's see what that does.
Yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that's a great thing to have with games coming out.
Sweet. Well, I too I re-downloaded Helldivers 2, and I played one match, and my team left me because I did not remember anything. Apparently, I'm trying to the guy was down, and I'm like, oh, where's my menu? It's like, what button is it for my menu? Which one? I'm like pushing everything, and then I'm getting attacked, and then I'm like shooting, like 4 rounds, and then reloading, and I'm like, oh crap, I just threw a clip out. And then they left, and I'm like, well, just so I'm gonna have to go back and probably just run through the tutorial real quick again because.
I think me and Gina had to play at least 3 games before we finally got because I was like, how do you heal? I forgot how to heal. Like, how do you
how do you? I forgot.
Like shit. Like, I even the car. I brought the car over, and I was like, get in the car, and they were like, how? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So, but yeah, you gotta play it a couple of times, but it's fun, man. I haven't gotten to fight one of those big giant ones, but it's a lot of fun. It's very zombie, a lot of zombies.
Yeah, it's all co-op. It's not. Well, I mean, sorta. Like when well, like the second day it was out, it's like there's 3 of us, and one guy's like, "Hey, does this have like multiplayer, like PvP?" And the other guy was with says, "Kinda," and he just shot him. I'm like, oh my god! So I brought the guy back, and he's like, yeah, real funny. But so yeah, but it's one of those games that when you jump into, most of the time you're going to get somebody that's probably on a microphone because they want to they want to strategize everything, and they're probably going to be pretty cool. If they're on PC mostly. And you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. I think it's a great game. Should it have won multiplayer of the year?
It did.
We'll talk a little bit. It did. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But yeah, I did play a little bit of that. I want to get back into it, and I just want to not embarrass myself.
Now I was looking into getting Path of Exiles, by the way, before I bought Subnautica. And I was trying to get Gina to get into it because she does like games like Diablo.
Oh, okay.
So how many? Is it 4 people can play Path of Exiles together, or is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know it's split screen on PC.
Which
is super cool. I mean, if you just have one PC and, I don't know. I think it is 4-player. I mean, it's a live service game. So like when you go into town, there's multiple people there. But as far as like out and doing stuff, I don't know what the party is. We can look that up and find out. But because I haven't played with anybody yet. I've never played Path of Exile with anybody else. I've sunk many hours in that, and I just solo everything. And this game, so far, I mean, it's $30 for early access, and then it's free to play. I feel like I've already gotten my $30 worth out of this game. I'm still playing this game. The sorceress is the shit. Anybody that's like, this game is so hard. No. Delete character, go back to screen, make sorceress, kill everything repeatedly. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. I'm actually getting into the story, whereas Path of Exile, the first one, I was just kind of like, story, click, story, get out of the way, click. That, this one is presented a little bit better, and you can tell that these guys, and this is how they used to make games. Make this game, make the gameplay, make the environment, make it really cool, make it really fun to play, and then go, what kind of story can we make out of this? You know, and so it's not on the top level of priority, but it's still good. And it's still there, and so. But I'm also still playing Indiana Jones. This game is so good. Holy shit, is this game so freaking good. I don't want it to end. I don't know where I'm at, like as far as like percentage of completion.
Yeah.
But I'm in the fourth location. And it is, I don't want it to end. I am definitely going to play it again because I didn't finish everything at the Vatican. And then when I went to Giza, there is a point, not to spoil it, but maybe more of a warning. When you follow Voss, if you follow him, you're leaving Giza. So just keep that in mind.
So you can't like go back to anywhere once you're left?
No. No, because you're in the Indiana Jones movie. Yeah. You know, you follow the red line on the map, and then when it becomes a dot, you're stuck there. Right. So, but
have you been
so
streaming every time you play?
No, not every time, because my wife streams a lot, so I don't want to interfere with that. There's the puzzles. The puzzles I was kind of concerned about at first, but I like them. They're the puzzles that's like when you walk into a room or you walk into something, you can look around and go, okay, I know what to do. I know what I need to do. Now I just need to figure out how to do it. Some puzzles are kind of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, so there's no context in what's available to actually do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's movie stuff. It's like, oh, hey, we need to get this thing out of the way. Okay. And then, 20 minutes later, like, hey, I got it. So
that the other one will be like Call of Duty Easter eggs if we didn't have any guides, because how they make guides, that makes no sense. But let's go with but movie logic, that's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like just like there's a jukebox on top of an iceberg in the middle of the desert. No, it does have kind of context to what's going on, and it does feel like you're Indiana Jones, man. Only thing is cool. The character is so painstakingly detailed. Like he looks like a late 30s Harrison Ford in every possible way. They got the jacket right, the shirt, the hat, the gun, the whip, everything's. He's got brown eyes in the game. Like what? How do you mess? Like how do you do this so perfectly and get eye color wrong? That's so weird. I don't understand. Anyway, that is the only gripe I have about this game. I mean, which is not the game itself, but somebody in the art department's drinking on it.
I mean, what does Troy Baker? Do you know what his eye color is by chance?
I think light colored of some kind, but
because I was thinking it was like mocapped or something.
Well, it was. He does all the mocap for it, but I don't think that. I mean, you can make the person look. You can do mocap and be a monster. So it is, and it may be. It didn't seem like his eyes were brown at the beginning of the game, but now they are. Maybe it's a bug. I don't know, but or graphical glitch or something. But that's really the only complaint I can come up with. Honestly, I've run into one minor bug where the animation kind of flipped out a little bit, like I was supposed to be pushing something, but I wasn't where I was pushing it. But it worked anyway, So it's like, oh, well, I just did it anyway. And it is, man, it's a fabulous game. It is super fun. It's one of those games where it's like, holy shit, this is why we play games. Total escapism, total, immersion. It's funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously. And one person even, this blows my mind. One person actually online pointed this out, that there's a scene where the two characters like come into frame and then drop down like behind something, right? And of course, in Steven Spielberg fashion, there's a beam of light that goes right across their eyes. So when they drop down, they've got this light on their eyes. And then it zooms in. But when it zooms in, it actually has a slight wobble. like it would if you were on a moving a camera on a track. So I watched it again, I'm like, holy shit, it does, because it kind of comes in and wobbles as it's, just like you would in the 80s when you're making movies, and you didn't have those gyro belts with the you just had it on something that rolled, across the floor. Man, it's just they nailed it. So yeah, this game is it's a winner. Congratulations to Microsoft for actually making a good game this year. Too bad they didn't release it when they should have. It probably would have been a contender for Game of the Year. I'm pretty confident about that.
Don't worry, it'll be a contender next year when it's on PS5 as well.
Yeah, but look at the lineup next year. Holy shit. Well,
I mean,
half of those will go into 2026, so it may.
Yeah, I was gonna say half of them will be delayed anyway. Even
Right.
GTA at this point, I think,
Right.
might be delayed. but
Except
who
Lighting of
knows?
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
Well, we can't delay something that hasn't been given a release
Yeah, I
date
mean,
to.
we see so many games always like, oh look, so many games coming out, but realistically, you can't have too much coming out because everything wants to go against each other.
Yeah, also
And each publisher will try to find like a good spot to put their games in. It's like February, like everybody at the end of this year delayed their games to February. Now
Yeah.
February is stacked. It's like
why?
yeah, so
Why?
yeah, that don't work
There's
out.
nothing in January. There's one game in January.
Why not January? Like why not these other months? It's like I get it's holiday time, but you can put things in other months.
Yeah, you totally can. And that brings up a good point of Indiana Jones is the last Uncharted game I played was 4, and I don't really remember how long it was hour-wise. I want to say it was about 25 hours. And there was some bloat. I mean, there was some segments that were obviously kind of stretching it along for whatever
Yeah.
reason. Because, I mean, 25 hours is a little too long for a game like that, in my opinion. But this, I think I've already played 25 hours. And I'm not done. I don't know. But it does give you, you can just go through the main story, just like a movie.
Yeah.
But it gives you these large areas to just walk around and find stuff, man. And I love that. But my point is that Ubisoft has not figured this out. Some other studios have, but when you have so many games, we have so many games that come out in a year now. I mean, it's hundreds of games, if not thousands.
Yeah.
All, biting for your attention and your time. When you make games that are 100 hours long, fuck you. Stop it. I mean, seriously, nobody has time for that. I mean, you want to be able to get people to play your game. You want them to finish it. You want them to experience it. You want them to tell other people and talk about it and get them to play it and say how good it is. Assassin's Creed Valheim was, I played that for like 120 hours. And it didn't even end. You had to buy the ending in DLC.
Wow.
Which was another, 20-something hours? Like, screw you, man. Like, I put so many hours into that game. I did enjoy most of it, not all of it. But at some point, I'm just like, I'm going to finish this game. I'm going to do it. But 120 hours for it to just, not really end. That's just a slap in the face, man.
Yeah.
That's just, it's not, just stop it.
You know what? I enjoyed that. The internet always hates, and I always bring this up, is Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Because as a playthrough, you only need to do like 50 hours and it's done.
That 50 hours is not. I mean, for a role playing game, that's not bad. 40 to 50 hours, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So that's I mean, like 90% of the game. That's 40, 50 hours.
Yeah, that's fine.
It took me like 2 playthroughs just to get an achievement that I missed.
Yeah,
I wanted to 100% and I did.
20 hours for an action game, perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So
not everything has to be 500 hours.
No.
Like Dragon Age Inquisition, even though I think that actually got Game of the Year, but that was so bloated with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So like my playthrough was like 200 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was over 100 hours on that as well. And you can even imagine, this is something that I think about it, and I always think think about this with like From Software. It's like you have these incredible artists that make these locations and these bosses and all this stuff, and you got like, you know, I don't know, I'm just pulling this out of my head, but like 80% of the people that buy the game and play it quit after like 4 hours.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody sees the rest of your game because it's so freaking difficult. Ubisoft's kind of the same way. It's like if you're going to make this 100-hour, you know, sprawling game, that's great, but you don't have to even fill it with stuff and then go, oh, do you not have time to do all of this? Well, then just you could pay more money and we'll play the game for you. I mean, good grief, man. It's just shrink stuff.
That is a problem, like with how Ubisoft does releases, though. I don't think the problem is, well, I mean, the problem, some of it is like too bloated of a game sometimes, but it's when they have like 10 releases as well. It's like you can't even like get enough time to play through the last one before another one is out.
Right.
It's like, you got another one already? How you done that? I haven't finished like how won this one yet.
Yeah, and especially if you've got, you know, you pay $70 and then it's like, okay, I paid $70, I'm playing this game. Oh, another one just came out. Holy shit. Well, I just spent $70. I'm going to wait until I finish this one. Then I'll give you $70, and maybe by then it'll be on sale. So then, you know, you start clustering this together and your sales are flatlining. You know, you're only going to sell so many when it comes out, and then it's going to trickle down because people just either A, don't have time, or they don't have the money, you know, to spend on another $70 game after buying a $70 game.
Yeah,
so,
you know, in 2020 or 2021, it would have been perfect to have like 200-hour games because no one could do anything.
Sure.
But so it's like most of us actually have stuff to do now, so we can't just be 2 hours on one game.
Yeah.
But also yeah, no.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna, yeah. I was just gonna say, like, most of the time the developers like expect you to find your forever game, like sort of like,
right.
Like your wife, like your wife,
Valheim.
Like, she loves Valheim.
Yep.
And the developers are like, we love that you love Valheim and you want to play it, exclusively play that, and you don't want to play anything else. Like, the developers want that, but simultaneously, like, it's hard to like only play one game. You know what I mean? There's so
many see, I can't do that. And she's
I can't
play with me. And I'm like, I don't. I have like 5 games I'm playing right now, and none of them are Valheim. I'm sorry. Well, you know, and I blame Destiny for that for the most part, to a certain extent, because, you know, Destiny was like not the best game, but it became people's hobby. Like the game itself became people's hobby, and the amount of hours and money that people put in that game, everybody just wanted to make that game. You know, everybody wanted to have their own Destiny, and that's where we got this kind of bloat when it comes to live service games and even single player games.
Although, to be honest, you know, the game that always, I think, started the whole forever game in single player was Skyrim. The amount of people that spend in Skyrim.
I've never heard of that game.
To this day. So, yeah, people get stuck in that still. It's like, oh, you just wait for the next Elder Scrolls.
They haven't made a better one yet. I mean, make a better Skyrim. Like, shit. Yeah. How many developers out there have just said, like, make a better Skyrim? Like, it's how old is that game? Like,
2011 was it?
Yeah. So but it's easy to say that, right? It's easy, just like it's easy to say, well, make your own Destiny 2. I think that even the developers sometimes don't understand why people like their game. Why people when Destiny came out, it was like, this game is a total 75 at the best, but I can't stop playing it.
Yeah.
You know? It wasn't the best game, but it was addictive.
Yeah. Because in the end, like, when you're a developer or any sort of media, like, you know, you want to release a game, music, or a film, you don't know how people are going to react. You don't know. You don't know what people are going to like or dislike. So if someone releases a game and people are like putting 1,000 hours in, you're like, why are they doing that? That's not even how you play the game. That's not even the story. What are they doing?
Yeah.
So developers, I don't think they know what people like. because people will make their own.
I think that's
sort of,
obvious this year.
Yeah,
I think they've
people
shown
make
that they
their
don't know
own,
what the hell we
their
want.
own journeys and their own stuff in games, and do their own thing.
Yeah.
Not even like the quests in the game. They're just like finding different things. So very hard to say, oh yeah, you do this in game, and they just wander off.
Yeah.
But this was the quest.
Yeah, we put a lot of time and effort in. I'm gonna go this way. Yeah, I'm gonna go over here because there's something over there. Yeah, I think a lot of it takes one studio to make something that's like, holy shit, this blew up. I mean, like everybody's playing it, and then all the other studios look at it from the outside and kind of look at it as like, okay, we know this formula, we can replicate it, but they never do.
Yeah,
totally.
Even like probably the best tactics or stuff that you find are probably bugs in the game that weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I remember Destiny 1, the loot cave. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I was there.
I was there to play Destiny 1 when everyone had the loot cave, and it became this huge thing, and it just became this thing with the community, and even Bungie acknowledged it, like put something there, and so they don't know. It was just a bug.
It was a bug, and most people, like if you went to the area and you saw these guys just shooting in this cave, I myself walked over there and was like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, if you shoot in the cave, you get loot. I'm like, oh. 2 hours later, I'm like top level. It's like, holy shit. So yeah, I think in some ways it's simple for us to go, I like this game, it's good. When the developers themselves put so much time and energy into making, like, manipulating us into doing something with the game that we don't even do, and then they get pissed off at us. So, which leads us into the Game Awards. That was called a segue. Yeah. So I watched I couldn't watch live. I was at the hospital with my dad, but when I got back, luckily, when you don't watch live, obviously you can start from the beginning and just skip a bunch of the goofy stuff. So I was able to compress that 3 hours and 45 minutes into about 2.5 hours. So I did watch most of it. I skipped Jeff Keighley every single time. I'm not a fan. But so before we get into this, I found out something that I didn't do enough research apologetically about the Game Awards, because I think it's changed. Now, I thought that, they have the media vote on this stuff and they have us vote on this stuff, right? I thought it was like 50-50. Did you know it's 90-10?
Yeah, because I know they had another vote to do. It was called Player Voice, and that's basically just the players, and that was it.
Yeah, which doesn't doesn't mean really anything.
Doesn't mean much anything.
Yeah, so the media, so like Rolling Stone, Vanity, Knitting World, Cat Fancy, they all vote. They got 90% of the vote on Game of the Year and all these categories and all that stuff. That is insane. And a lot of these outlets are not game related at all, right? I mean, of course, it's, Knitting World and Cat Fancy are not on there, but so yeah.
Maybe next year, special guests.
Yeah, it's just so weird. It's like, who's this? I think this show's really just to push ads. I think
it is.
It's Jeff Keighley just going, hey, yeah, get up here and accept an award. But first, watch this commercial. I just made $80,000.
Like, do we care about Oscars in Hollywood? No, we don't.
I attribute that to the Oscars, except for the Oscars don't show movie trailers. Maybe they should. I don't know.
Yeah, but we don't really care who gets the award, who don't get the award. Like, if we like the film, we like the film. If we don't,
Well, I years ago I did like the Academy Awards. You would go to an Academy Award party. You get your friends together, and everybody has their favorite movies, and then you watch it, and you drink. Anyway, that was always fun, And then you get to talk about, just the winners and stuff like that. But as entertainment shifts in Hollywood, most of the movies that are made that are accepted into the Academy as a nomination are less and less movies that I enjoy. And maybe it's just I don't know if the movies have changed or if I'm just gotten older. It's just I just like I like to be entertained. I don't want to think so much. I think So anyway, but yeah, I see what you're saying with that. So the Game Awards are kind of new. What was that?
I was gonna say that I just felt like the Game Awards is just like the video games way of trying to be more Hollywood. It's not really about the game, like the movie awards, like the Emmys and all these other ones. They have these fancy dinners and they wear these actors have tuxes on and they walk the red carpet and take pictures. Oh, look at this person, he's an actor. I felt like that's the same vibe from these Game Awards.
It does give that, and
yeah, the developers that made Astrobot. Oh, look at them! They get to talk about acceptance speech and this and that, and it's just like it's less and less about the game, and it's just one big jerk off.
Yeah, it's just exactly self-congratulatory. Just look at us as as the industry.
Right.
I saw clips of or to the crowd where all the developers and like Phil Spencer and Kojima were in
did
the
you
crowd
see the signs where they were like, "We hate you"? I saw like 50 of those.
I didn't see them, but I just saw highlights. I just saw highlights of different people, and I can't remember what it was, but one guy on stage was like, "Oh, Kojima's my friend," and they just pan to Kojima sitting in the crowd like.
I know. He's like, I don't speak English. That guy speaks English. He understands English perfectly. I bet you he does. He just pretends he doesn't, so he can he doesn't have to talk to Jeff Keighley.
So I don't pay attention to what happens in the Game Awards themselves because it's just most of the time useless stuff.
Well, there was what's her name? Alana Pierce was talking. She was there, of course, for some fucking reason. And she was sitting a couple of seats down from the developers of Wukong, who lost obviously to Game of the Year, and they were crushed. I mean, they were just
they were.
The guy had his speech. He wrote it 2 years ago, before they finished the game, and they were just really really disappointed. So I mean, it means something to somebody, and it means something to them.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good. I mean, if I was a developer, I want my game to be Game of the Year.
Yeah, so you can put it on the box. You can put it on the, it's like, hey, this is Game of the Year 2024. Buy it again. Here's a special edition. Here's the anniversary edition. Here's the anniversary remaster special edition. So I mean, it benefits the person that wins Game of the Year. I just don't think but you said it. This looks like Hollywood.
Yeah.
Games are not Hollywood. It's not. Games are not movies. Even though, I'm talking about Indiana Jones like it's being in a movie. That's just a good example of how you make a movie. A game based on a movie. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Sony and the media want so badly for games to be Hollywood, to be movies, to be that part of that entertainment, because that's where the like-minded people are. And the majority of people the people that just go into a store and buy a game, they like Uncharted, they like The Last of Us, they like games that just have stories that you don't have to really think about anything. You can just play them and be entertained just by watching them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just there should be a definition between gaming and movies that there's a strong, definite line between games and movies, and nobody seems to really accentuate that and point that out. And I think that's what makes gaming so good, because you are interacting with it. It's not a movie, So on the opposite, they just go the other way with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like one thing for me that separates the two is that you can have in the movie world, you could. It's very rare for you to have a movie that looks like complete shit, and is just the weirdest shit, and people love it. Like maybe something like Seinfeld, where it's just a show and people are like amazed by it,
or like a
you
B
know?
scary movie that's
Yeah,
had
yeah,
like
like
a $400 budget.
But that's
Right.
but that's the thing. Like even a movie like that or a show like that will
Yeah.
eventually, if it's popular, it'll get picked up by somebody big, and then they'll redo it. But in a gaming world, you can have a game like Minecraft that looks like total shit,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be a mega success. You can have like an indie person, one guy create
Yeah.
a game, and like a movie doesn't have that. Like
No.
very rare in the movie world has like a small handful of people made a movie, and like it got big, it got really popular, and it didn't get changed. HBO didn't pick it up or some shit like that,
Right.
you know?
Right.
But in the gaming world, you can have these like small local success stories where like one or two developers are like speaking to directly to the people that are playing their game,
Yeah.
you know, and have this deep connection. So I think in that respect, like gaming is like just something else, you know.
It is.
And, you know, I mean, it tells stories like movies do, but in the respect that you were saying, where you're interacting with it, it's that much more personal.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
is. It's not just sitting and watching. You know, we make jokes. It's like, oh, how many hours you spend playing games? How many hours you spend watching football? And what are you doing when you play football? I mean, watch football. You're just sitting there. You know, you're not.
Right.
You're not control. You know, you're not. You can't control the outcome of the
Right.
game.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, it
Rage
is.
quit, change the channel.
Yeah, you can do that. You can throw the
Yeah.
remote if you
Yeah.
want to. But yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
the difference. And again, I think it's something that's what should be celebrated, and not so much of just, hey, look at we're the Oscars, but it's video games. You know, it's just like Game of the Year. Like, how do you take all the games that came out in a year and pick one out of all of those that are unanimously picked as the number one game? I think that's impossible. You can't do that. You can have games in categories, and you can say like best multiplayer game, best, you know, single player game, or what, you know, it doesn't matter. But for me, you know, it's like winning the Oscar for Best Picture. You can do that. All of the movies are made the exact same way. They just tell different stories, and so whichever story is the best wins. That makes sense. Games are not like that. You can have completely different experiences. One a card game, or you know, a fantasy game, right?
Yeah.
It's just I don't understand it.
Well, you know. Well, go.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
No, I was gonna say because you know how people like were sort of angry before the Game Awards happened that Elden Ring got nominated again, and we were DLC.
Yeah,
And then at the Game Awards,
I don't
won-
agree with that. Yeah.
It won nothing though. It was just there.
Yeah.
Like, why was that there?
Well,
then?
it shouldn't
Like,
have.
I
It shouldn't
don't
have been
know.
nominated. They only nominated that so they didn't have to nominate like Space Marines or something that, you know, would have, you know, not fit whatever. But yeah, it's DLC or remakes, in my opinion. This is my opinion. I don't think should be considered as Game of the Year. Just
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think so. No.
like, if you didn't win Game of the Year last time, you ain't winning it this time. If you're
Or
a
if you
remake,
did win it, let someone else win it. You know?
yeah. Or if you did win Game of the Year, congratulations. Let somebody else get nominated instead of the remake of the game that already won Game of the Year. I mean, that doesn't make sense. So let's get into this now. We do know that Astrobot won Game of the Year. How do you guys feel about that? I did not play it. I do not have a PS.
No, I mean, I haven't played it. I can't say. I mean, it looks great. Obviously, you know, they did a great job with it.
Yeah.
I don't know what constitutes as Game of the Year though. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
so, you know, like, because, like, for example, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but the Black Myth Wukong developers, they thought they probably had a surefire shot at it because they had 20 million sales or something like that. It's crazy. In China, it blew up, so they had so many sales of that game.
Yeah.
And no, Astrobot wins it.
Well, it's.
I'm not saying like it's just sales, but you know, if that many people have it though.
Well, you can't go by sales, because if sales,
No.
it would, you know. It would be
No,
like Call of Duty, just
yeah,
wins
yeah, and
by
I
default,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I know that, but like, if you think there's like such a big base there, and Astrobot, I don't know, just
It reviewed
Yeah.
better.
I mean,
And I
it
don't know
reviewed
if that's a
better.
factor, but it
Yeah,
did. It's like 95,
yeah, it did,
consecutive.
but at the same time though, like it reviewed that well, but no one really got it. Like in terms of, I don't know, 5 million people, 10 million people, it sold 1.5 million at
Yeah.
the time.
It
Yeah.
it doesn't
So
matter though.
yeah,
It's
I
got to be
know.
based on scores, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know.
I,
so
I I did play it on VR when it came out, like as
Well,
this like a mini game.
this isn't the same game though. The one that
Is it
comes
wildly different from the VR version?
um well, I mean
yeah, if that
it's
was
just a new
if
game. It's a
if that was
new
Astro's, if that was like Astro's Playroom, that's a
Yeah, it's like
different game. Yeah,
Super Mario Brothers 2. I mean, it's, it's a
Yeah.
different game. Right. Um but
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I liked it when I played it, and I could probably say that if Astrobot is anything like the VR version, it's probably a really great game.
oh
Now,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I remember seeing somebody on YouTube who gave a really good perspective that I'll paraphrase, I guess. I'm pretty sure I don't remember his name, but it's like Pirate Gaming, maybe Pirate.
You're talking about Thor?
He has long hair and he has a very deep voice.
Yeah, it's Thor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
He likes ferrets.
said, yeah. he had said, and I really, thought
Yeah, it's a
that he
really
had
smart guy.
he had a really good take, and that was that Astrobot was a great game, but it didn't do anything to progress gaming in any real way for the year.
Nope.
The year that it came on the scene,
Mm.
it just has the same mechanics as any other game of that type. It doesn't do anything. It might be fun to play, or it has a fun story, or maybe it's funny and it's cute or whatever, but it doesn't do anything to further gaming, which is, I think, actually a really good criteria to base your game of the year on. Something
Yeah, that would be
right.
Yeah.
And
innovation. Yeah.
he was saying Black Myth Wuhan was a Chinese developer with a Chinese mythological story
Mm-hmm.
that sold great in the West, and it showed that your game didn't have to have this American idealism in it or something like that. This Western things in it. It could just have something from that culture in the game, and it's sort of eye-opening in that respect. Now, I don't know if that's really what pushes it, but I definitely would agree with him that Astrobot doesn't really push any boundaries.
Mm-mm.
There's nobody saying like, "There's gotta get this mechanic in Astrobot and it's unbelievable." I haven't heard of anything like that. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know. I think that that's a pretty smart take, and I
Yeah.
think that pushing the boundaries that's what should be the game of the year, something that changed something, you know. So, I mean, I do feel bad for Black Myth. I didn't play. First of all, I didn't really actually play either of them.
No, I didn't
don't
either.
think-
I will probably play Black Myth Wukong when it goes on sale at some point. But it's
Yeah.
it's a lot of games out right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Astrobot.
like, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like that one looked like a Dark Souls. It looked like an Elden Ring Black
Mhm.
Myth.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really not my type of game. And I don't have a PlayStation, so I didn't play Astrobot. But
Right.
if it comes out on PC, I might buy it. So
Which you probably will like a year.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
It's not. I won't. That's just not my kind of game. I don't. That hasn't been my kind of game since I was 12.
yeah.
I mean, if Astrobot winning means I get more platformer type games outside of Mario and Nintendo, I'm all for it. Like if that revitalizes a platformer type game.
Well, sure. I mean, it is a
that we
Mario
miss.
game. It is absolutely.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything that Mario has not already done. Maybe
Yeah,
a couple of
so-
tricks with the controller, but
But yeah, if we get like the mascots again, platformers, I don't mind that at all.
We won't.
Yes.
Those
Probably
don't sell.
won't.
They don't sell.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
Is that-
Astrobot. Game of the year. It sold like what? I think you told us like what? 1.1 million. That's it.
1.5, I think. Last I checked. I think Sony was like, please make it sell more.
Yeah,
give it the award. Give it the award.
it doesn't sell. How many did Ratchet and Clank sell? I think about the same. About like what, 1 million ish.
I don't know how much it sold. Ratchet.
Oh, it's just innovative and it sold 1 million. So they just don't sell very well.
Yeah, I will
games
say
like
the
Black
teams
Myth Wukong sell like wildfire.
Yeah, the team that actually made Astrobot, I'll say they're doing a really good job because keep making updates and like levels and like, hey, here's content free. So maybe Sony can actually use that for the other teams.
Yeah.
Free update, Sony.
Well, let's move on to some other categories. I'm going to skip a couple of them because they're like art direction and game direction, narrative and things like that. But there's a couple that unless there's one that you want to talk about, stop me. But I want to go to where is it? Come on. Best ongoing. Okay. So, you guys know who won this?
Not sure if I do actually.
Okay, here's the nominees: Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, Fortnite, Helldivers 2. So, out of all those games that are ongoing, and this is awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Which one of those do you think would have won?
My first guess would actually be Fortnite, to be honest.
Yeah,
I would say so too.
Because not because I want Fortnite.
No, I don't play Fortnite, but honestly, when do you hear about Fortnite? All the time. Why? Because it's like, look what's in the game. Look what we did. Look, they changed this. Look at that. Look, now you can play a Call of Duty map in Fortnite and play team deathmatch on it. Snoop Dogg's in the game. Gears of War characters are now in the game. I mean, it's constant. It's just content. It's like a content mill. They gave it to Helldivers 2. Even Arrowhead Game Studios was like, what? We won what award exactly? Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, I know the update. I know they updated the game, but it must have been like.
Yeah, they updated the game, but I mean, that's not best ongoing. That's just so weird, man. And is it? I don't know. Is it because it's a Sony game?
Final Fantasy 16. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Destiny, Diablo.
16.
No. I'm sorry, 14.
I was going to say,
stuck.
Yeah.
I
was like, why 16?
Well, it's just Roman numerals. I don't look at those because I can't read them. But that's what I meant. 14. Yeah. I don't know. I played that when it first came out. That's about all that. But Diablo 4 that probably could have been a good contender. They have huge DLC that came out this year. They've updated that. Destiny 2 can just fall in a hole and nobody won't see them anymore. But Helldivers 2 is it's weird. It's really weird. Now, and this is going to go to something just as weird. Good grief, man. Batman won Best VR, by the way. I thought that was... Yeah, I agree. Yeah. No. Where is it? Yeah, Astrobot raked him in.
Well, I was going to say,
yeah, here it is.
I was just going to say Best Communities. It was Best Ongoing, you said. Helldivers won.
Right.
I feel like No Man's Sky should have been in that as a contender, and they were in as the best community support. They were a contender in that one, best community support, and they didn't fucking win.
Yeah, they totally should have been nominated for that. I agree.
Right, because I mean, it's just like No Man's Sky, free content since it came out, nonstop free content.
And like you said a couple of weeks ago, it's like, hey, can we fish in this game? Hold my beer.
Yeah, this
boom, a
is
couple of weeks later, it's like, yeah, you can fish in this game.
It's literally content people have been asking,
Yes,
and
yes.
they make it, and they
Maybe
make
they
it for
just
free.
they just don't like that. They don't like. Wait, we can't do.
How dare you not
Hello,
make money?
right? How dare you give the those chuds and those gamers what they want? How dare you do that? You're part of the problem. So best multiplayer. Okay, so we got Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines 2. So out of those, personally, I would have thought Call of Duty would have won that. I mean, Call of Duty. This is the best released Call of Duty in years. It came out.
yeah.
It hit. No problems. No server issues. No, I mean, a little stuff, but it hit hard. The zombies was great. The multiplayer was solid. I mean, they nailed it, man. They nailed that landing when it came out, and it's still so far has been really good. Helldivers 2 got it.
Mm-hmm.
I still wanted Warhammer to win that though.
I did too, but I can see why it didn't. And best multiplayer, this should have just been Game of the Year. I'm sorry, but the multiplayer has been a little shaky since it came out. There's a lot of balancing issues. I mean, you got Space Marines walking around killing each other. I mean, like it's just it's so OP. It's hard to kind of manage that. And then they said that going in. They said multiplayer, this is kind of a test. It's going to change. It's like, nobody freak out. Just, play co-op. But when you come into PvP, next week it might be completely different. So
I will say for COD as well, like they definitely did stick the landing on launch.
Mm-hmm.
It does have problems now, though. I'll have to say, I do love playing Black Ops 6.
It does have problems, but what about the problems of Helldivers 2? I mean, holy shit. Yeah. They went in and they nerfed everything across the board, and everybody left. Like, screw you. This isn't even fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
But like Call of Duty lately, I don't know what's happening in multiplayer. I mean, the servers are crap. Honestly, for Activision to have a company as big as they do, and they don't have good servers for Black Ops 6 sometimes, I don't understand. Yeah. I don't understand why that happens. Like, fix your servers.
Yeah,
you have enough money.
Well,
sometimes the hit reg doesn't match either. Like, you're shooting a full clip into someone, and they don't flinch.
Yeah.
And they just like turn around and shoot you. It's like,
yep.
Huh? Multi-million franchise.
Yeah. Like, how many studios work on that? It's
so,
just that one guy, Bob. Bob's got servers. What's wrong with servers, Bob? I don't know. I'm at home. I can't be there 24/7.
So yeah, when it works, it's great, but yeah, it does have those issues still.
It does have its issues, much like any multiplayer game is going to have issues. But I just think that was a little. I mean, nothing. I'm not throwing shade at Helldivers 2. It's a great game.
No.
Just kind of a weird pick,
Yeah, I think that's what it is, though, because a lot of games, especially this year, made a lot of noise when they came out. Like Helldivers was massive when it came out.
Yeah.
Call of Duty was massive. I mean, it's Call of Duty, it will do. I don't know. Maybe the media doesn't want to put Call of Duty there because Call of Duty comes out every year. So,
yeah, I mean, it kind of is in that category every year, but so is Fortnite, and so is Destiny 2, and those other categories. I mean, I don't think it's it's the biggest game, period. I mean, closely, there's other games that are very close to it, but every year it comes out, it's the top seller. And most of the time it gets reviewed fairly well. And this one got reviewed better than the last, 3, at least, or 3 or 4. So, but, I get it. I mean, I'd hate to think it was because Microsoft now owns them. Because Jeff Keighley he just doesn't like Microsoft. I mean, he will schmooze, the higher ups and everything to get money out of them, but it's obvious that he is very biased. And I think if you're going to have an award show, you can absolutely positively not be biased. That's one of the reasons I'm not a fan of his. Most anticipated game. Did this even have to have any other candidates or nominees other than Grand Theft Auto 6. And that's
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean the other stuff, we got esports and all that stuff. Probably well deserved. I just thought that those were some of those were just a little weird, and the Game Awards themselves, I think, are just a little weird, and it's going to get weirder and weirder. But let's talk real quick about the trailers. Were there any trailers that got you excited, got you pumped? All right, let's hear it. What is it? See, it's on my list.
Honestly, I'm excited for a lot of stuff. There was stuff in there that I didn't expect to see, like Virtual Fighter.
Yeah.
And Onimusha. Like those were two Sega games. I'm a Sega nut. Those were two Sega games that I remember. And I saw.
Wait,
that
Onimusha was on PlayStation, wasn't it? Or was it on both?
You know what? Yeah, you might be right.
I don't remember.
I don't know why, but in my head I associated with like Dreamcast or something like that when I had Dreamcast. But more than likely I played it on PlayStation.
Yeah. Maybe it was on Dreamcast too. Now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
Turok.
Yes.
I mean, like,
yes, that's on my list. Turok.
Didn't expect to see that shit. I know another game on your list, probably Outer Worlds 2.
Nope.
No? Well, you liked Outer Worlds.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obsidian's making that one, so.
Oh, okay. Power World looked cool, like some new shit for Power World.
Yep.
There were a couple of things on the list that I would have liked to see more of, and I really seen jack shit, like Stage Fright. Fright is the same people that make Overcooked, which I play a lot when I have people over.
Yeah.
And it's a great party
game. Yeah.
Right. This game is made by them, Stage Fright, and literally the trailer says nothing about what it is, what it does, or anything like that. Another one that I'm excited for, Witcher. Witcher looks fucking cool. And I never really got to play.
Bless you.
What is it? No, Ico, and
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. I never really got to play them, even though I saw them. They looked cool. They have a game coming out.
Oh my God, Project Robot.
Yes. Yeah. That one looks cool. What I didn't really fucking care for was like One Move Away, where you pack your fucking car to move. Like,
I didn't see that one.
There's a game where you pack your car because you're moving out of your house.
Wait a minute. Was this at the Game Awards?
Yes.
So these people paid to have their trailer at the Game Awards at an exorbitant amount of money, and it's about moving your. Wow. I mean, nothing against the game, but I'm just thinking it's like, you got money to burn or something.
Yeah, there are some games that do that, though, and they actually hand up pretty well.
Wow.
Okay, no.
Have you seen Unpacking, the game Unpacking?
I bought that game because it was on sale for like $5 or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And then I bought it, and I'm playing it, and my wife walks in and goes, "What are you playing?" And I'm like, "It's called Unpacking," you know? And she's looking, and she's like, "You're just putting shit on a shelf." It's like you're just cleaning a room. You could just do that. We have a room and it's dirty. You can clean it.
Yeah, that's not a game. That's a chore. Get to work.
I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna play this. And then I saw this game move away, and I'm like, this is even worse than that.
Oh man, I hate moving. Oh my God.
I mean, it's just when I saw it, I just had to laugh.
Yeah.
That one, that one, and fucking Catly.
Yeah.
Like a game with cats.
Is it like a cat MMO or something?
Which, by the way, looks like it was made by the guys that make Inzoi. I don't know if it's the same developer. It looks exactly like Inzoi. When I first saw it, I was
does. Like the environment and everything?
Yeah, I'm like, is this Inzoi? And then I don't think it is.
No.
And that's another game that literally told you nothing about
nothing. And that's getting exhausting, man. You just if you don't have gameplay, fucking go do something else. Just come back later.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know what? I'm starting to. I mean, no disrespect. I don't want to get any hate mail, okay? But no disrespect. But like, I'm fucking tired of cat games. Can we have a fucking dog game?
No shit. I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like dogs. Can we
Yes.
have a dog game?
I'm a dog person
Yeah.
too.
Cats don't do anything. They do nothing. Why do we have
No.
games about cats?
I don't want to be a cat. I don't want to play with cats in a game. I will pet them, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're okay when they're like, when they give a fuck about you, but
Yeah.
99% of the time, you know, cats live with you, dogs live for you.
Right.
You know?
Mhm.
Right. You are absolutely right.
So anyway, but yeah, I mean, those are the first Berserker, Kazan, like that looks fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Steel Hunters, that looked the mech game, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Why?
That's a
I
mobile
mean,
game.
Yeah.
It is.
I watched the trailer. I'm like, hey, this is really cool. And then later I read it. I went back because a lot of times, like the trailers, if you're watching them, they're very compressed. So if you wait and they go to YouTube, you can watch them in like actual 1080p. And I'm watching it and I'm like, this is a mobile game. Like, you bastards.
really?
I mean, it just hooked me, reeled me in, and put me in a freezer, turned me on.
Well, the thing is I see games like that where I'm just kind of like, the whole movie, the whole show came out. I already know how Game of Thrones ends. Why do I need to play this? Like, what is it? What is this game gonna tell me that I don't already know about the story?
Yeah.
You know, like Game of Thrones isn't like a 1 hour movie. Okay, Game of Thrones is a long fucking series. Okay, it's gonna take you days to watch the whole Game of Thrones. We know just about everything that everybody was doing in that show. So what is this game going to show us that we don't already fucking know? You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
it looks like it was it's just interweaved into the main story where you interact with certain characters, but then maybe do your own. Who cares? It's mobile. Let's move on.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm excited about. It's a lot. I'm excited about a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
You know? I didn't like that Light No Fire wasn't in there. I didn't like that. What's that other one? There's a one that's Warframe is making.
1999. Oh no, Soulframe. No. Soulframe.
Yeah, I was hoping I'd see something else for that.
Yeah.
But no, nothing for those things. But
Nothing.
I thought it was a pretty good list of games that are coming out. To be honest with you, that's my opinion.
All right, Liam. What's your list? What's your favorites?
I mean, pretty much the same out of that, to be honest.
Yeah.
From what I saw, I didn't see much. I didn't see everything out of the Game Awards. I was gonna watch it, but it's like, I just fell asleep on the Thursday, so I can't be bothered to stay up 4 hours for an hour.
Yeah. It was like it started at 6 o'clock here. So that would have been like what, 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I mean, nothing really special actually came out of it, so I'm not bothered. Obviously, we got games to look forward to.
Yeah.
I do like that. Hellblade got the recognition.
Mm-hmm.
He got those awards again. It's always going to get those awards because they're amazing at what they do. So I was glad of that. I do want to say something though to you guys because people have split decisions on Naughty Dog right now. Did you see the Naughty Dog game?
Yes.
Intergalactic.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did the trailer make you think?
Wait. Intergalactic. That's Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking a different game then.
This was the one that had the Porsche spaceship and the bald girl.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All
It
right.
looked cool. I thought I was watching an Aliens trailer or some shit like that. Like the movie's Aliens or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that was another one that didn't really say much, right?
Mm-mm,
Yeah. No, it didn't say much.
Oh, it said a lot, just not about the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
I must have missed something. Tell me what I did.
Well, you missed the fact that it's a bald black chick and everyone's mad.
Oh, was that a girl?
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry. Okay, I'm being silly.
That's the same shit that people were complaining about Witcher 4. It's like, oh, why is it Ciri as the main character?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm kind of like,
Ciri's
she
always
was,
been the main character.
she's in the last game. They were training her to be a Witcher.
I've played all three
news?
games. I've read 3 of the books. She's basically the main character of the entire story. You're not playing the main character. You're playing Geralt.
Right.
If you play Witcher 3, you know you're not the main character of the story.
Right. Yeah. So when people are complaining, I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like, this is a dumb thing to complain
Well,
about.
the one thing that they're complaining about mostly is the lore is that there has been no female Witcher because most of the time when you take this test, the Trial of the Grass or whatever, it kills you. You know, they're like Spartans. It's like you got 10.
Right.
You just produced 3 Witchers. The rest died, right? So women just haven't passed that. Because Ciri has that, the elder power or whatever, you know, she's more powerful. I think they're probably going to retcon that to where she took the test, gave up her power, and now she's a Witcher. I think. I don't know. But there's a loophole there, and it will probably work. So I'm not passing judgment on that game till it comes out. I'm just, you know, the writers and a lot of the people that worked on Witcher 3 have moved on. They're in other studios. So, and this game is not coming out. Did it say 2025 or?
No, I very much doubt.
I don't think it had anything on it, right? This could be, you know.
I mean, that could be 2027.
We'll all be old and crippled by the time it comes out. Who knows? But
yeah, that's something I wanted to say though. Like,
yeah, what did you think about Intergalactic?
I mean, it looked cool, but as I said, I was like, you can't really. I thought, oh, we can't say much about it. And then I read online. I thought, oh, and never mind, because everyone's complaining already, and I don't know, that just rubs me the wrong way right now. Like, I don't care who the character is.
Yeah.
You know why they are there. It's a new IP, for Christ's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And people are complaining already that they don't like a character. Like, I don't know. They might not even be the main character.
It's the main character.
I mean, fine. You say it was the main character. Well, I remember like watching Diablo 4 trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first, I think it was the first Diablo 4 trailer. Might be the first or launch, one of the two. But it had, the great big epic armies going. One of the main NPCs in that game is this bald black chick. I forgot her name.
Oh yeah, I remember that trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. And she said, I don't remember anyone going, oh, it's a black person in Diablo. Woke. I don't remember any of that speak.
Well,
but now every other game that comes out now, people are looking for every single thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can I tell you why?
Well, I can guess why. I'm just getting tired I'm getting tired of everyone like pointing fingers at everything.
Okay, can I tell you why? Okay. First, let me give you my thoughts on this. I thought the trailer looked absolutely amazing. I love the sci-fi look where everything is clean. It's not like Star Wars dirty. It looked very 80s, which, obviously, I saw it. It's obviously, I mean, I could have, they said this, but I noticed it. It's what they're tailoring the look and the feel of the game is 80s anime. Okay. Which is a little bit different than today's anime. It's very dark, very gory, very violent. I love the way this game looks. I think they nailed it. I think it's having the product placement, which was also a thing in the 80s for anime, like Adidas and Porsche and Sony. I mean, that's not really product placement. that's the logo. I think it looked absolutely amazing, and I think it does look interesting. The problem is the character. There is a problem with their character. It's the same fucking character that we've seen in every game in the last 2 years. There's no deviation in that character between that one and all the other characters that we're seeing in these other games. Neil Druckmann, that's his ideal character, is a super strong, overconfident, muscular female character. The problem that everybody has is, and this is where Witcher 4 is going to run into the same thing, is that now that we've had all of these games that are obviously not made for us, they're made for an agenda or a small group of people that are probably just working in their office, that sacrifice good writing, sacrifice good characters, and a lot of times a good game to push an agenda and push political ideologies to people that they call chuds and gamers, which is basically the people that will buy your game. The majority of people are getting tired of it. Yes, there are people out there that will call it out to get clicks, and they're just, grifting and whatever. But the majority of people are just tired of playing the same goddamn character in every fucking game. It's having a strong female lead used to be like, hell yeah, that's awesome. If it's in every damn game, it's, oh shit, it's the same person. It's the same character, that overconfident, obnoxious. Now this one's bald. It's tiring and it's old.
Maybe the cosmetics can be hairs.
Just like for a long time, the main characters were white males. And we get that. We understand that. That went too long. When you get, it's like, oh, it's just this same dude. It's Duke Nukem. He's in every game now. That got tiring. We got bored of it. They don't ever talk about that. They just, but now every character is this same one. It's the same character, and people are tired of it. Just make a different character. Make them at least attractive. If you're going to spend 20, maybe 30, 40 hours in a single-player game playing one character that you have no control of how they look, at least make them pleasing to look at and not purposefully ugly. The actress that this character is, or the actress that plays this character, is attractive. But yet in the game, they make her look like she's drugged behind a tractor. For what reason? Why? Because it's to incite this, hey, you're not getting the character you want. You're getting the character that we want. So that's your explanation. The majority of the people don't like this. They're tired of it. They want new stuff. Okay? Yeah. The people that you're referring to that are just like, oh, this is woke, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, most of those are idiots. But I'm telling you.
I know. I get that people are tired of it. The people that you do complain are idiots.
I can tell you. Okay, I can tell you exactly. This character is got a vendetta against somebody. She's probably been wronged by this person. Okay. Yeah. In the game, she's going to be super confident. She's going to do everything. She's not going to mess anything up, but everything she does is going to be reductive and probably affect other people in a negative way. But she's not going to see that, and she's still going to supposedly be looked at as some kind of hero. I already know this game. I already know this character. Yeah, it's the same one that we get all the time.
This is what I want to know, though, right? Because I was thinking about this.
Oh, and she's gay.
Especially now, because I think this. Because we had a lot of games and a lot of chat that happened, and I think that's come to a boiling point. But when it comes to Sony, I'm looking at Sony and how the internet sort of chat and talk about Sony. Obviously, they're great company and make great games. PlayStation is always selling. When they had The Last of Us, everyone loved The Last of Us.
Yeah,
that's a great game. They had Last of Us 2, which. It got all the awards. It still sold millions, and a lot of people still love it.
But not as many.
I know it's probably not as many. People have problems with the story. Mm-hmm. I never heard people complain that Ellie was a girl boss. I never heard that. I never heard it when woke.
Because she wasn't. Abby was. Abby was the boss.
Yeah, but I never heard that. It was woke because Ellie's lesbian.
I did. I heard that before the game even came out.
I didn't hear that as much.
I heard that. That was the biggest complaint when they showed trailers and there was some leaked content and everybody was like, "Oh shit, this is,"
because one was already established in the first game.
Right.
I just feel like the complaints, whether the people legitimately complaining or not, they're tired of it.
Right, but let me put it to you this way. Let's forget about the political ideologies and all that kind of stuff. Let's say that in the last 2 years, every game that's come out that has a character in it is wearing a ball cap backwards. Okay? Doesn't matter who they are, they're wearing a ball cap backwards. Every single character. Every single character, even if it's set in a fantasy world far, far away with unicorns and elves and shit, they're wearing a ball cap backwards. Wouldn't you get tired of seeing that ball cap backwards on your character and you can't take it off?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You see what I mean? It just looks stupid. It starts to become stupid, and it starts to become to where it's just like, oh, you're just trolling us, man. You're obviously making this to push that. Instead of selling games, they're wanting to change whatever their agenda is. I don't really care what it is, but it's obviously not something that they want to sell a lot of copies as a game is. This is their most unliked trailer they've ever put out. And I was saying, it's like Witcher 4. That was a cinematic trailer. People are looking at that when you replace the main character with a female character. That game might not have any problem with political ideologies or whatever. It might be the best RPG ever made. But it's gonna take hits because you put the main character in there as a female, and that sucks. That sucks for the developers. It sucks for everybody. But when you keep doing that, when you have that good game that's like does it right, it gets overlooked, or it's just people go, well, it's woke, and they don't even give it a second thought. You're hurting the industry by they're doing the opposite of what they're trying to do. If you make female characters interesting and relatively pleasing to look at, I'm not saying they have to be like super hot or anything, but not making them objectively ugly for the reason, just for that reason, then nobody's got a problem. It's just the idiots that are going to be like, I ain't playing no girl. You don't have the overwhelming majority of people that have played games all their life go, this is dumb. I'm sorry. That's stupid. You keep doing that. It looks dumb. The point of trying to make strong female characters, you can't have them in every single game and every single movie and every single comic book and every single TV show. It just looks you're shining a light on what you're actually trying to do, which is push a narrative and be political about stuff that's just entertainment and the shit that we want to play and escape with. And it's exactly what Neil Druckmann is doing right here. And he's part of the problem with these other games that don't do that, have female characters that are probably very well written and very well done. They'll get hurt by it. And they just need to stop doing it. It's not about your political ideologies. It's about making games that people want to play, making interesting characters that are likable. Name one character in Last of Us Part 2 that anybody actually fucking liked. I didn't like any of them. I didn't meet one character in that game that I thought was I thought was interesting, or they all sucked. All of them just sucked.
I think that's the point of The Last of Us 2, to be quite honest. Because
Exactly. But why do that? Why make characters that you wouldn't pick up on the side of the road if they had a flat? Why would you do that?
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I want to judge a game when it's out.
You should, absolutely. You absolutely should. Yeah. And Intergalactic, of course, I don't have a PS5 or anything. I love the way this game looks. I love the whole idea of it. The whole like 80s anime vibe. Man, I'm all over that. And I hope I hope it does a flip. I hope it is completely not like that.
I want it to be good because I'm kind of tired of the whole Naughty Dog Last of Us,
like just complete dreary, just like depressing shit.
Like session they've had like for the last 10 years. Remaster 1, Remaster 2, do part 1 again, remake.
Right.
Make something else.
Oh, they've already announced the the remaster of Intergalactic. They did that yesterday.
Yeah, for PS6. But at least they're making something different. Like,
Right.
please, make something
No,
different.
yeah, you're right. I'm glad to see them do something, just like throw everybody for a loop and do. And I hope that everybody's wrong. I hope that I hope this character's like super cool and once you play the game, it's it's but that's where that discourse comes from. I'm not saying I'm one of them. I'm saying that I identify it. I see it. It's like if every character in a game is a 90-pound woman that can throw men across a fucking bar, and does everything right and doesn't make any mistakes and bosses everybody around and everybody, and all the men in it are fucking weak as shit, no thanks. It's boring. It's old. Do something different.
Yeah, so, I get that. I do.
All right. I'm not jumping on you. I'm giving you a different perspective. Of,
I get it because we've had a lot of those games that come out.
Because you gotta look at like what's selling, not Twitter. You got to look at like what the majority of people are buying. Wukong, Stellar Blade, fucking Space Marines. These games are selling well. They're selling well. What is absent from all of those games? Political ideologies. Someone's view of what you should like, and if you don't like it, you're a bigot and you're a homophobe and you're a transphobe and fill in the blanks. People just get tired of that, man. It's not about what you think it is. It's just about nobody wants to get preached to. No.
I think as well. Like, I want games to also be, obviously we want games to be fun,
right?
But I want a game to like be fun with the character. As I said, I don't care who the character is. I think what a lot of these games miss is, as you say, like, you try to be the same character for one, but they have to push that they are like non-binary, or they are this, or they are that, or they are the other. I just want the character to be good at this game, this mission. Like, just be good. Yeah. Just be like, I don't care.
Be
about
somewhat likable.
I don't care about your backstory right now. Can we just do this thing first? Show that you can be a badass at something and shoot everyone, and that's what we want to do. Really.
Yeah, just,
Like,
absolutely.
go do that thing, and then we're like, oh look, we look up that character more afterwards, rather than like all the ideologies like right there in your face. It's like,
yeah. It's like, I mean, it's in. I'm kind of picking on Veilguard, just a little bit, but it's just like, we've got to save the world. We've got to slay this giant dragon and kill this wizard. And oh, by the way, I'm non-binary. I mean, it just, come on, let us have fun. And anyway, well, let me. No, what?
I was gonna say I miss the days of playing Metroid and not knowing the sex of the person.
Wasn't that exactly? That's a perfect example. Wasn't that the coolest thing? You're playing. He's like, I beat the game. What? Like, take the helmet. It's like, oh my god, that's amazing. You go to school the next day. It's like, hey, come here, man. Give me a quarter and I'll let you know a big secret. Well, at least that's what I did. I made a lot of money that way. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that were not around when the characters in games, and nobody cared about like when Tomb Raider came out. Nobody cared if it was a woman. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, we loved it. We
I mean, games have always been for everyone. They've always been inclusionary. We've never had a problem with anything until idiots came in and went, this is a problem. Now we have a solution. We're going to make worse games. Like, great, thanks a lot.
I think it's because before, when we had studies of games, like growing up, it was always men who were gaming. That's because
men were making the games.
Yeah, but that's what studies said. Not that women couldn't play games.
No.
Or they couldn't identify in games. Because I have plenty of people that play games, and everyone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even with Nintendo, it wasn't just guys playing games. But that's who they marketed toward, because that's who was making the games. You know, it was just this like 8 like white nerdy dudes made all the PC games for like 20 years.
And also, it's like,
let's-
dads, buy your kids something.
Yeah. Well, let me move this along a little bit. Let me go over my trailers real quick, and then I gotta go over the speech, and then we'll do the surprise I have for you. Okay. So my trailers also Project Robot. I'm super excited about this. I hope this comes out on PC and not a PlayStation exclusive, for crying out loud.
We'll
Elden
go to
Ring.
PC later anyway.
Yeah. Elden Ring Night Rain. I mean, if this is like an Elden Ring co-op Destiny live service type, hell yeah, I am in. I will be happy to die repeatedly with friends. And Solasta 2, this probably is not well known. Yeah. I got this game, I played it, I loved it. This has actually, it's a weird thing to say, but one of the best interfaces in an RPG I've ever played. Super clean,
tactical, no?
Yes, it's turn-based. But then I got Baldur's Gate 3, and it just kind of left a crater in that whole genre. And I'm glad to see that they're making a sequel to that game, and it does look a lot better. The first one is a little low budget. It is kind of janky, but it's still a fabulous game. Turok Origins again. I played the first Turok I played was on PC. When they ported the N64 Turok game to PC, and it played amazingly. It was really awesome. Nice. And Turok isn't he Native American? I think so, right? He's like Native American dinosaur hunter. Yeah, hell yeah. And then Crimson Desert. Every time I see this game, it looks better and better.
It looks great. Yeah.
I cannot believe this game is coming out on console. This just looks absolutely amazing. If they keep pushing it, it's going to come out on the next consoles. So
did they say a date for it?
I don't think so. No, they just said, "Hey, remember us? Look, it looks awesome." Yep, later.
Yeah.
And then Black Forest: The Long Dark 2. I played The Long Dark on Xbox when it was in early access. It was barely a game, and I really liked it. David, have you played this? It's a survival game.
I played it. Yeah, I played it because it was a survival game, and I died really quickly.
Yeah.
And the game really doesn't explain much, so I had a really tough time on it in the very beginning, and then I sort of just stopped playing it. But Black Frost looks great.
Yes.
And it looks like it's co-op.
Yep.
So I might give it another try for sure.
Yeah, it looks like I love the visual style that they're going with on this too. It looks really good. So
looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too. And again, intergalactic. I mean, we'll see. I'm interested in it. That would be really cool if they released that on PC at the same time, like you're supposed to. But we'll see about that. So a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about kind of comes down to the Game Awards. Having a year of just developers, not studios per se, but just individual studios coming out saying how much they hate gamers and stuff like that. It just kind of leaves this bad taste in our mouth. Also, there was a lot of layoffs.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was a guy that they brought him up on stage and gave him a Game Changer award. And this guy, basically, he was seeing all the people that were laid off, and he started making a spreadsheet to help people find jobs that got laid off. So he was like interconnecting studios with talent, and just in his spare time, just trying to help these people, find jobs that got laid off. And they, not that there wasn't other resources out there, but he just wanted to help. And I think that's fantastic. But then they put him up there in front of all the people that fired all of these people. and was like, "Hey, this is great. I mean, like, what? Did nobody think of that? Like, what are these studio heads going? Sitting in the audience going, I mean, what? I just thought that was like, hey, way to go, dude. But Jeff Keighley, what are you thinking, man? I just thought that was bizarre and kind of wrong. Anyway, moving on. So Astrobot wins Game of the Year, and at the end, the person or the somebody from the studio that wins the game of the year, the previous year, gets to come up and present that award. And of course, it was Baldur's Gate 3 last year. So it was the studio head of Larian, Sven Vinky, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his speech, I don't know if they approve speeches before they say them. I would think so. I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you his speech. It's only like a 2 paragraphs, but he was talking about there was an oracle telling him that made him sign an NDA, so he couldn't say what it was. It's kind of funny. He's like, it's a very smart oracle. It's very modern. I had to sign an NDA. He said the oracle told him that the game of the year 2025 is going to be made by a studio who found the formula to make it up here on stage. It's stupidly simple, but somehow it keeps on getting lost. A studio makes a game because they want to make a game they want to play themselves. They created it because it hadn't been created before. They didn't make it to increase market share. They didn't make it to serve the brand. They didn't have to meet arbitrary sales targets or fear being laid off if they didn't meet those targets. He's talking to all the people that do that. Furthermore, the people in charge forbade them from cramming the game with anything whose only purpose was to increase revenue and didn't serve the game design. They didn't treat their developers like numbers on a spreadsheet. They didn't treat their players as users to exploit. They didn't make decisions. I can't believe he's saying that. They didn't make decisions. They were short-sighted in function of a bonus or politics. They knew that if you put the game and the team first, the revenue will follow. They were driven by idealism and wanted players to have fun. And they realized that if the developers don't have fun, nobody was going to have any fun. They understood the value of respect, that if they treated their developers and players well, the same developers and players would forgive them when things didn't go as planned. And that's true. That is totally true. But above all, they cared about their games because they love games. It's really that simple. And then he presented the award. I know, right? I mean, it's just like, hey, this is... He kind of called everybody out. It's like, stop making games to piss people off. Like, seriously. You know? And he's telling them how to do it. And it is simple. It's so simple. You know, we're not game developers. We're just like, make the game fun, make it engaging, and, you know, maybe even play with your friends. And that's it. So, man, just that rounded it out. I'm glad that was the last speech and not the first speech. Yeah. So that it could be left as that. So, man, hats off to that guy and their studio.
Yeah.
So
I think that's an amazing thing that he said, and I hope that it really resonated with a lot of people. I just feel like, unfortunately, it's not going to change.
No, I don't. Not anytime soon.
I mean, not immediately, because half the gamers are being probably like in their like halfway stage and things like that. So
I mean,
if we see a shift, it won't be for a while.
No.
Well, I kind of feel like in the way that he's speaking about the gaming industry itself, it's very similar to the music industry, in the sense that a band will form a band and they'll make music with the intention of being creative and making music for everybody to enjoy and have a good time with. And then a record label comes in and goes, you know, you guys are great, you guys can make millions,
but
we're gonna own the publishing rights of your song and your music.
We're
gonna put you on tour though, and you're gonna be able to play the world, but you know, you'll make like 50 cents per album. Next thing you know, the band's not making jack shit.
Yep.
And they're super popular. Record company's making everything, and then the record company's telling the fucking musician that you should wear this on stage. Oh, you need to fire that musician because you know this, or you know this is gonna help your image. Next thing you know, the band's changing their whole fucking facade and everything. It's the same thing with the games, man. It's like a publisher comes in and the shareholders start telling them what to fucking do.
Right, exactly.
And they own everything about the game. Oh, you need to add DLC, or you need to charge $20 for a fucking skin, or some shit like that, you know. And the guy that's making the fucking game is just like, okay, I guess so. You know what I mean? I mean, he's probably
they don't do that per se, but yeah, they come in and they go, okay, so we need more money. We need more money.
Yeah.
We need more money.
Yeah.
And then the developers are kind of crammed into this mindset of like, how do we get more money out of our players? So then the manipulation starts, and then and you can't take that back. Once you start into that, it just goes into it. And even like BlackRock's investment company is investing a lot of publishers, and with these like, hey, we will give you this money, but we have stipulations about your games. It has to include A, B, C, D, whatever. And then that's a factor. That goes down to the developers, and it's like, here's your guidelines for making the game. Like, what? What guidelines? What do you mean? So the industry itself, and Hollywood is course correcting right now, and you can see it. They've gone through the same thing, but the difference is like a movie can be in production for 2 years and be in a screen. We're seeing that in real time in Hollywood because some of these studios are going bankrupt because they keep putting out movies that nobody wants to watch. I mean, duh. Much like the Game Awards want to be like the Oscars, they need to be looking at Hollywood and seeing like the money loss there. And it's going to course correct. It's going to have to, or it's just going to go in the toilet. But that's again. If you're on PC, you got nothing to worry about. There's always shit to play on PC. If you're on console, we'll see what happens. But yeah, leaving with that though, man. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to stand up and cheer because that guy just totally nailed it. So, so as the Game Awards are over and everything's done, this is what we're gonna do next week. So I'm gonna give you guys some categories, and I'll put it in the Discord as well, of course. But we're not going to do voting. We're not going to do nominees. It's just I'm going to give you a category, and we're going to put a game on it. So we're going to have our own personal Game Awards, right? So here are the categories for the Graybeard Gaming Game Awards 2024. The first one is Best Use of Graphics. Now, not Best Graphics, but Best Use of Graphics. So that's your own personal choice of your favorite looking game or game that you think is the best and the best art style. Just anything you want to throw in that as far as graphics. And I'll leave that up to you. Realism, surrealism, and it just doesn't matter. Okay, the next one is best single player game. Just flat out best single player game. And of course, the next one is best multiplayer game. And then though, I want to talk about best live game. So that can be co-op and multiplayer, it doesn't matter, just best live game. I'm curious to see what this year we've all played and what we think is the best live game. Best new IP, which may be tricky. I don't know how many new IPs we got this year. The biggest fuck up by a studio, of 2024. Has to be in this year. But
I think we know. That.
I don't know. I mean, I've got like 5. I'm gonna have to like pick one of them. So, the next one is best game containing big blue soldiers that tear through anything. And then the last one, of course, is our game of the year, our own personal game of the year. And again, I think that's a personal thing. It shouldn't have nominations, but that's, and then we'll pick those, and then next week we'll just kind of go over those real quick. But those I wanted to keep those short, and then and again I'll put these in the Discord. So, but yeah,
that sounds like fun.
So so we're 2024 Game Awards is at a close, and it's about what we expected. I'm glad we did get some cool trailers. Nothing. I don't think did any. I mean, David. I think we're unanimous as far as like not getting anything about Light No Fire was a little disappointing, but oh well.
Needs more time.
Needs more time. Needs more time to cook. All right, cool. Any closing notes, Liam?
I don't think so. I mean, I've read some stories and rumors and things like that, but I don't think it's anything right now that we have to
let
worry
them
about.
Cook a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because most things probably won't happen until next year now anyway, because Christmas is coming up, so everyone's going to have holidays.
Yep, there's not going to be a whole lot of news really until into January probably. So yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, we'll be back next week. Next week is Christmas week. And so we'll knock that out and then, go from there. And then we'll just slide right into 2025. And thanks for joining us. And let's go into next year being positive. So go play some games you love. See you next week.
See ya.